Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about one of the most aggressive, high stakes, and controversial strategies in the startup world, Blitzscaling. This concept popularized by Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn, is not about standard growth. It's about how you go from a small team to a global giant at a speed that feels almost reckless. It's the playbook for market domination. So, why would you need that? First of all, I want to mention the fact that time is limited, and I guess you heard this. You think to the point that you think now it's a cliche, but you really do not understand the amount of time you have on this planet. And one of the most important things that you have to understand is that things, especially if are that certain things that make sense for you to actually scale to the point of becoming a global giant or market dominator. Because if you're thinking to create a small application that only makes sense for a thousand to 2,000 people, clearly that's not for you. But if you have the mark, you have researched the market, you understand the potential, you understand who you're selling to. There's a billion people out there that could actually use this application, then it's in your it's in your best interest to be able to have this in your mind, this strategy, so that you go through these levels that I will show you in a minute as fast as possible and really reach the point where you are a go for option. Okay, so because first of all, you ain't got time like that. Okay, there is a window for each product, and then second of all, if you're not fast enough, right? Imagine that you're building everything, right? And then somebody else comes, picks up on your idea. He has enough resources, a lot of money, and he just builds. He copy paste, especially with the speed that AI writes code nowadays. Your application can be copy paste in like 2 hours, 2 days, whatever, in a matter of days, man. They come up with a brand new, more beautiful, better application that you have, just like that. So then you just have to understand the time is not your friend at all. So you have this strategy in mind when you enter it. You thinking, okay, because even if you start all of a sudden, you think, okay, I'll start again. I'll build another one. That's another a lot of time wasted, and then again you don't have the same mentality. Again, you think this is a walk in a park. Again, you like shy and stuff like, oh, can you guys give me some money? You're looking like a beggar. That's not how it is, man. This is not the mentality. You're not playing the game correctly. This is a race to the top, and you need to have the right strategy, especially if you're building for a certain market that has, special a certain opportunity, and a certain audience, and then that's an opportunity that you don't want to miss. Otherwise, somebody's going to see it and they're going to take advantage and capitalize on it. Now, obviously, do not think you're going to become the next Google or I don't know what. Obviously, these things are progressively developing in years and everything. But still, right, you have to have a certain mentality when you get into this. Otherwise, just stay home and sleep. All right, just don't waste your time because you're probably behind with the sleeping. You need to recover. Trust me with that one. All right, so what exactly is blitzscaling? At its core, it's a strategy where you intentionally prioritize the speed of efficiency in a highly uncertain environment. So think of it as a military blitzkrieg. Unfortunately, you have this bad memory connected to this word, but it makes sense because at the end of the day, it's not a friendly environment when you get into there. It's not like they're all waiting you with open arms. It's more like a conquering situation. You get there and you dominate. It's like this is what this world is about. All right. An empire falls and another one comes up. It's never really a peaceful transition of the power. Ain't nobody waiting you with millions on the table. Ah, come on, come, bro. Likely it's you, you know. Get it all. Go home and go spend it on hoes and cocaine. That's not how it works, man. So you're not focused on perfecting your supplies lines or minimizing waste. You are, which is also a good strategy. But in this situation, you are focused on one thing and one thing only. That's all you have in mind. Capturing critical territory as fast as humanly possible. So if you're not capturing territory and you living in and you building your application in your basement and it's just you and your mom using it, I don't think you're doing it right, mate. So this is basically an offensive strategy designed for a very specific type of battle. If you think these guys are gonna give it to you just like that, and you're not gonna find any opposition, or maybe if you don't find opposition, you should ask yourself why you don't find opposition. Maybe that's the question you should ask yourself. So you should always aim, you understand that there is going to be opposition. Maybe that's an indicative you're doing what you're supposed to do. Right. All right. Anyways, so then, yeah, you have to go through that like knife through butter and get to the point where you become the norm, right? If you ain't got it like that, stay home again, sleep. Trust me with this. You don't want to get yourself into because power to in the hands of the one that doesn't have it, they kill them. Okay, you're gonna start doing cocaine. You're gonna start doing some nonsense. People will I don't know what to do to you. Okay, so then you'll be thinking maybe I should have stayed with that dumbass application. So this is not for everyone, clearly, but some of you got it in you like that. So just go for it, okay? But don't take my word for it. Go ahead and research this and see the man itself that built LinkedIn. Okay, right. And why would you take such a risky approach? Well, the prize you're fighting for is the first scalar advantage for a scalar. So this is like think like go Google it. Uh, you know, uh, call a Uber. Remember when he used to say call a taxi and now he say call a Uber? What the fuck is that? Anyways, um, yeah, this is branding. It's called branding, okay? So basically, you're thinking about the brand, not the action itself or you think what you represent. It's faster for you. So that means that market is dominated by that particular company, okay? So this is what you're aiming basically to. Um, Basically these companies once they reach a certain scale they become incredibly difficult to dislodge. So they attract what they do, they attract the best talent, they lock in customer and become the category defining brand. Now what is the right move? Somebody asked.
My name is Jeff.
Right. The right move now, this is critical. Blitz scaling is not for everyone, as I said. Try to basically a cornerback bakery. It's a recipe for disaster. It's a specialized weapon for a specific scenario. So as you scale your company, it will go through several distinct stages of growth, and each one requires a completely new playbook. Playbook is like a framework, okay? It's like a set of rules that you apply. So you change the rules every time you move to a different stage. You start as a family, then you progress to a tribe, then to a village, and then to a city. If you ever played a simulation city game, stuff like that, you will understand the robust systems that are essential for survival when it comes to dealing with more than 1,000 uh, employees or people or whatever, right? Crazy. The dangerous moments for a company are the transition between the stages, because the rules that led to success in the last stage will lead to failure in the next. Now, this is important because you holding down to your rules, you thinking it will still work. But in order for the new one to live, the old one has to die. You can't, well, even Jesus said that. You can't have two masters. You can't have two jackets. Having two masters is like buying a new jacket and you're wearing the old jacket on top of the new one or stuff like that, right? It makes no sense. Why you buy a new jacket? Because that's the only jacket you should wear, right? Unless you're a bum and you're sleeping under the bridge. Okay, I'm just joking, obviously. Um, the successful navigate this success to successfully navigate this chaos, you have to adopt some very counterintuitive mindsets that go against everything a traditional MBA program would teach you, right? Traditionally, you are limited to a life of uh, bringing up offsprings, not making millions. Okay, you're not making millions if you focus on having a family life. There's a reverse of the medal in this situation. You want to make millions, you have to go up there, deal with it. You want to have a family, you stay next to the family and you bring it up nicely. Okay, it depends on what you want. So, you have to embrace the chaos, obviously. You have to be comfortable letting some fire burn. If a problem isn't going to kill the company today, you ignore it to focus what on one that will, right? You have to hire people for the job they'll have in 6 to 12 months, not the job they'll have today, and you have to be willing to launch a flawed product um, just to get it into the market and start learning, because you collecting data from it, and that is how you improve from the users, right? From the people that can actually use that, not from your imagination. And I guess here, when Steve Jobs said that he's not really good at doing something, but one thing that he was good at, like building all that stuff or electric or coding or stuff. But one thing that he was good at, it was to pick up people, to choose the right people that will do that have the skills to do the job. So you have to rely on people. You have to learn how certain people are going to take you where you need to go, because you're only one man, whatever, at the end of the day, one woman, and you can't really do all of that. It's impossible. So it's impossible to do it. Even with the AI team, or even with all this nonsense, it's impossible, man. You need a proper team, and the more you have to deal with, the more people you need to deal with, right? And at a certain point, it's not gonna be you anymore dealing with those people. There'll be better qualified people that will deal with it, and you will see how you will slowly slide out of the company vision and whatever. Here's the reason why Steve Jobs have been voted out by the board, you know, by his own company that he built, right? Because he wasn't pulling up his weight anymore, and there were other, you know, yeah, he wasn't competent enough for the company, right? And that's a harsh reality. So I guess you should never really be that attached to your company like it's your baby. It's not your baby, okay? You created something for the people. People will take it and use it and whatever. Just take the benefits out of it. Be happy that they will remember you somehow and move on with your life. Do not stay there crying like a bitch because you created this, so what? Nobody cares. Anyways, this is a high. It's like this is like a high stake game, but at the end of the day, let's be clear. Blitzscaling is a gamble. It is not a safe path. You are not intentionally being inefficient. You are burning through capital at a terrifying rate. You're ignoring problems and accumulating operational and technical debt that will have to be paid back later. So pretty much what I'm doing, but if you're right about the market opportunity, you can build an iconic, world-changing company. But if you're wrong, the crash will be swift and spectacular, which is still something that you should do. Even if you're wrong, you should still go all the way. I recommend, because you learn from the disaster you created, whatever. You should never go halfway. All right, winning or losing, you go all the way. You go and you finish the fucking race. All right, so it is it for you? It's up to you to decide, my boy. So to conclude, most funders should probably not blitzscale. You do not go as a brokey with this in your mind. You go when you got what it takes. All right, you the man, and it requires a specific kind of market that you know is gonna work. I mean, at least you hope, at least, right? You never really know, but at least you have a clear idea, right? And there's opportunity there. You see it and you go for it. A specific kind of product and a specific kind of leader who is comfortable with chaos and risk. So if you're not that motherfucker, then stay home, I said. All right, stay home, sleep, do gardening, do whatever. All right, go fishing, stuff like that. Do not bother, because it's not for you. But if you find yourself at the beginning of your truly massive winner take all opportunity, when blitzscaling, well, then blitzscaling isn't just one possible strategy, but it may be the only strategy that gives you a chance to win. And it's like the lion that goes for hunting. It doesn't quite, be like politely asking the gazelle, "Would you die for me today? Because I have some cubs to feed." No, I don't think he goes like that. He just go for it, right? He looks for it, it does his job, and gets the gazelle home and feeds his family. That's how it is. So it's the art of building the future at lightning speed. Lightning speed. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. This was Elijah, and I hope you find at least amusing, if not inspiring. Again, do not try this if you ain't cut for it. If you're not cut for it, do not ruin your business or whatever and then come to me and say, "Oh, Eli, why did you say I could do that?" I didn't say that. You did on yourself. This is not advice or financial advice. This is just a summarization of a strategy that for some might be interesting. And you can go ahead and research it and find the playbook in more details by uh, the man that wrote it himself. So, yeah, stay blessed.